Come on. Why is my shit not working here? Okay.
It is time to play.
You're listening to ELS. Let's go! Uncut.
No doubt.
Put your drinks up!
Okay. Now we come to the payoff. Let's rock.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to ELS Uncut, your fucking fuckery of the weekend podcast. Anything goes, balls to the wall, discussion on anything. I am the Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone that follows me on Twitter. You can follow ELS Uncut, the Everett Lee Show, on Twitter at the Everett _Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up for that, and ELS Uncut, and of course Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show. I, right now, have with me my co-host, as always, on ELS Uncut. I want to welcome to the program Mr. Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, David C. Russell.
Good evening, Everett Lee, for the Everett Lee Show. Are you ready for some fucked up talk tonight on the podcast? Let's get this show on the road. There's lots of stuff going on tonight in the world of cluster and this and that. Let's get into it, buddy. Let's raise some hell tonight. How's that?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna raise some hell because it's been one hell of a fucking weekend. Or actually week, if you really do think about it, for the fact that a lot of shit happened this week, especially on the Everett Lee Show this week, because I had an awesome podcast this past Tuesday, and everyone that didn't catch it, please be sure to check out Podcast City Network YouTube page of the Everett Lee Show podcast on there with the guest that's on the line right now, none other than Kentucky's own wrestling's United States champion. He's on right now to respond what went on this week with the comments that he made on the Everett Lee Show on Tuesday. I want to welcome to the podcast back on the Chris Rose. How you doing there, Chris?
I'm doing great, as always. The Chris Rose is always great at everything he does. His mood, his day, everything.
Yes, definitely. There's been a lot of stuff going on this week, especially with the responses and the comments that was mentioned about the podcast on the Everett Lee Show this past Tuesday, especially from one individual, Jeremy Rage. Do you have anything to say about the comments you said about what you said on the podcast this past Tuesday?
I expect nothing less from him. He's a guy that left shortly after I joined KZW. He was the United States champion and lost it to Sully Larkin. And not even 2 shows later, I took that title from that wannabe wrestler, Sully Larkin. And I've held this title. Today marks 99th day. And tomorrow will be 100. And I plan on defending and keeping my United States Championship tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Jeremy Rage is, feeling a little down. He left the company for WWA, and he's looking over at the other side, and I'm taking all the spotlight, which I deserve. Because the Chris Rose is the best in Kentucky, like I said Tuesday on the podcast.
Right.
And I fully intend on keeping this title 100 days and defending it successfully tomorrow.
That is awesome. Yeah, congratulations on the 100 days. And just tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is going to be great, the event that's going on tomorrow. Now, tell me just a little bit more about tomorrow and what do you expect from the Open Challenge tomorrow?
I expect tomorrow to be a good crowd, a great atmosphere that the Chris Rose expects. The Chris Rose expects all the respect he deserves. You see, the fans may come there and boo me. Some may cheer me. I really don't need their approval, but I need them to be into the show. Because that's what the Chris Rose does. He is an entertainer. He is a performer that does it at the top level. You see, like I said Tuesday, it doesn't matter who accepts the challenge. Can they go toe-to-toe with the Chris Rose? Can they do it? Jeremy Rage is a guy that I've known a long time in the business. And if he accepts, it'll be crazy. It'll be tough. But can he do it? Can he beat the man who's been the man for 99 days and has defended it successfully? Can he do it? I don't know if he can because he hasn't been working any talent as to my standards.
Right.
So, when he gets on here, I'm fully prepared to roast him for what he is. He's a fraud. He's not on my level. He's just not the Chris Rose. That's all I can say about that. But tomorrow night, you can expect a great show because the Chris Rose will be on it. You can guarantee that.
Well, that's awesome. I'm looking forward for tomorrow night at the Kentucky Zone Wrestling.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And I have one last thing I want to... Well, actually, hold the phone. Actually, I got a call coming in here right now on ELS
Somebody wants
Uncut.
to be Chris Rose. All right.
Yeah. This could be great. Hello, caller. You're live on ELS Uncut.
Hello, Everett Lee.
Yes.
Jeremy Rage.
The Jeremy Rage?
The Jeremy Rage, the one and only.
Oh, damn.
And I just so happen to be, listening to this here podcast and couldn't help but to hear what the Chris Rose had to say about a few things. And Chris, I'll give you all the credit and the props in the world, brother. You've been making it. You've been killing it down there in KZW. But you're right. The only reason you took off was after I left. to go make more money and get bigger and do better things in the business. Now, you were champion for 100 days, and notice that I said were. I was champion for 322 consecutive days. And if J.J. McGuire signs this deal and we get this deal finalized, I promise you, KZW, Everett Lee, and whoever the hell else is on this friggin' thing listening, that I will show up in Williamsburg, Kentucky tomorrow. I am officially, as of midnight tonight, a free agent in the state of Kentucky. And if they put me in that building with you, and they put us in a match together, if they allow us to do this open challenge, I promise you 100 days is as far as you ever go with my United States title. See, KZW has been doing great business. They've been doing some big things, and I've been keeping my eye on them, biding my time, just waiting for when they needed me to come back. They called wanting Jeremy Rage to come back, and then we got fans wanting this dream match between Jeremy Rage and the Chris Rose. And if that's what they want, you know, screw them. That's fine and dandy. I'll take any match they throw at me. You are not on my level, son. Second generation, 16 years in this business. There has been bigger, badder, and better men tried to put me down, and they still have yet to do it. So believe me when I tell you, if this deal is finalized, tomorrow Jeremy Rage will be in Williamsburg, and I will be seeing the Chris Rose down the road somewhere.
You have anything to add to that?
You're right. You're not. I'm not on your level, all right? I'm not on your level. I'm at a higher level than it has ever been in KZW. You see, Jeremy, you left because I came in. You was afraid of the Chris Rose, just like everybody is in that locker room.
Oh, boy.
You're afraid to be surpassed in your 16-year career. Like, I don't care.
What the hell am I going to be afraid of? $125? I am 215 pounds of pissed off problem, bitch, that you don't want. Trust me when I tell you, I'm taking that title. If I get the opportunity, that damn belt is coming with Jeremy Rage, whether you like it or not.
Let me tell you something, Rage. In that 300 and something days that you just spit out to me, it don't mean a damn thing because you haven't faced a competitor like me before. I'm the Chris Rose because I'm the best at what I do. You see, you went to WWA to try to make more money and face other competitors. They're not the Chris Rose. You see, I haven't been there because I don't need to go there. I'm the best.
You ain't been there, bitch, because you ain't got enough shit in your craw and you can't hang with some of the absolute best in the business. That's why they called me. Notice that's why WWA called me. Notice that's why KZW called me. You 125 pounds soaking wet. I am 215 pounds. I've got the experience, I've got the power, and I've got more ability in my little pinky than you possess in that entire body of yours. And as far as you being the best in the world at what you do, come up with an original catchphrase and stop trying to rip off two different guys that you absolutely adored.
All right. Let me tell you something, though. Like I said 100 times, I don't care how big you are, because I've taken them down before. Come to Williamsburg tomorrow. Come to Williamsburg tomorrow and answer my fucking open challenge. You stupid son of a bitch. I will lay you down in that
support
match.
and sponsor.
As soon as this deal is finalized, Chris Rose, your ass will be looking up at me from the flat of your back. And when it's over, you're going to call me the new United States champion in KZW.
We'll see about that tomorrow, son. I cannot wait for tomorrow night in Williamsburg, Kentucky.
We'll see how it goes when I get there, because I promise you, you just went ahead and signed your fucking death warrant yourself. I will be there. no matter what.
This one was
Hell,
gonna make
high
it to
water
the ring.
contract
Hold
or
on,
no
guys.
contract,
So-
my ass will be in Williamsburg, Kentucky to
What's that,
get
David?
a piece of Chris Rose's ass.
Hey, can I jump in
This
here?
one-
I'm thinking,
this
you know
one.
what? I could see something going on here that's going to be chaos and hell tomorrow night in at Kentucky Zone Wrestling, and the fans want to see something. You know what? I just thought of an idea. How about a bull rope match, guys? Put the bull rope on. Do it.
Put us in a friggin' bull rope, put us in a strap, put us in a chain, put us in a cage. It don't matter. When you got two competitors in the state of Kentucky like the Chris Rose and Jeremy Rage on the card, you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, Jeremy Rage, you can say whatever you want. Need your approval.
Oh,
We
it
will
ain't
put on a
approval, like
damn
I said
show.
at the beginning
And
of
if
this
you,
thing. I take
you want to
nothing
get in the
from it.
damn ring with me, son, come tomorrow because you've just pissed me off.
All right, guys. Hey. Save it for the ring. I'm going to have to jump in here. I'm going to have to referee this, man. Wow. I did not expect this tonight here on ELS Uncut.
Wow.
I did not
That's
expect
hot.
this.
That's hot.
Wow. Yeah. I did not expect this tonight. But, ladies and gentlemen, those viewing right now and listening to the podcast right now, you just heard Chris Rose and Jeremy Rage. And if you want to see Jeremy Rage tomorrow, show up for the Chris Rose Open U.S. Challenge. Be sure to head over to this Saturday, tomorrow night, Kentucky Zone Wrestling presents There Will Be Carnage at the Williamsburg National Guard Armory. Doors open up at 7 p.m. Bell time is at 7:30. Tickets were $10, and then now they're accepting all major credit cards. Gentlemen, I am looking forward to see what goes down.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to see what goes down tomorrow night. I want to thank both of you for coming on, and the animosity and the everything is just great.
Just give it hell, guys, tomorrow night.
Give it hell. Save that energy for the ring tomorrow because you guys are going to need it. And I want to thank the Chris Rose. I want to thank you, Jeremy Rage, for calling in here tonight.
Absolutely. Anytime Jeremy Rage's name is brought up, Jeremy Rage will answer.
I can see
Oh,
that.
yeah, thank you, guys. The pleasure is all yours.
No problem.
See you
David,
in Williamsburg tomorrow, bitch.
See you, motherfucker.
Oh man.
all right, David, I think that's where we're going to cut to a commercial. When we come back, we're going to jump into talking about some topics and stuff that we got planned for tonight on ELS Uncut. So when we come back, we will discuss that and more. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
I gotta grab my medicine. Can I go out?
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Atlantic Sounds has thousands of new and used vinyl records and CDs. If they don't have it, they can order it for you. Same location since 1982. For more updates on what's new, check out Atlantic Sounds on Facebook.com/Atlantic Sounds Vinyl. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network we have a lot of great shows.
We have a wide variety of shows that cover the landscape in podcast, a podcast for anyone and everyone.
Such as The Chris Garnett Show,
The Everett Lee Show,
ELS Uncut,
Super Radio Brothers,
on
Forking Around with Cody,
The Grimlock Show,
and Films of Classic.
And you can catch these and a whole bunch more only on podcastcity.net or on all of our great social media outlets.
Head over to Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
So make sure that you join us for all this only on Podcast City Network.
Stay connected.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network we have a lot of great shows on all of our great social media outlets. Podcastcity.net,
Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
Only on Podcast City Network. You're listening to ELS Uncut.
Well, damn, David.
I'll tell you
was
what.
some
I'll tell you
crazy stuff. Those viewing the live stream right now, you guys have pretty much, if you're tuning in right now, you can always go back and watch this live stream, because just a second ago, we just had Chris Rose on discussing about the responses and the comments from Jeremy Rage. And Jeremy Rage actually called in, and he basically just... man. He just basically ripped into Chris Rose. What's that?
Can I say something here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Dirty Deeds, if you're going to be at that match tomorrow night, ringside, please get some video footage for us. We would like to see your little clip or photos or something, if you can.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone that's attending the event tomorrow, I'm going to put it up right here, just as a reminder to the viewers and listeners right now that as soon as I can pull it right back up on here again. It's right here. Here we go.
Yeah, please,
right here.
Yeah, please, Deeds, Dirty Deeds.
Yeah, please, right here on Saturday, February 23rd, Kentucky's Own Wrestling presents There Will Be Carnage. They will make their return to Williamsburg at the National Guard Armory. Doors open at 7, bell times at 7:30. All tickets are $10. So you want to see if Mr. Jeremy Rage is going to show up and challenge the Chris Rose for that U.S. title. Please attend the event if you're in the area. And,
absolutely,
of course, if you take any footage or pictures and stuff,
please
hit up podcastcity.net over on Facebook, Podcast City Network. We'd love to see that, so be sure to do that if you attend the event, though. But god dang, man, fuck. The shit went crazy, man. The shit went crazy with that, man. I didn't expect Jeremy to call in. I did not expect that to call in.
Hey, you got a message on your screen.
On my screen? I don't see anything on my screen.
On the Twitch screen? On Twitch.
Oh, yes. Dirty Deeds, he'll record it. Awesome. Yes. That is.
Thank you.
That is. Yeah, a lot of people say that Jeremy Rage will capture the KCW U.S. Championship if he shows up tomorrow.
Hot.
It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that to happen with him calling in Jeremy Rage. And
surprise.
Like he said, surprise. Yeah, surprise. He basically said when his name is mentioned, he will show up or he will comment. But damn.
So JJ, big shout out to JJ tonight too. JJ McGuire.
JJ McGuire, Mr. McGuire with Kentucky's Own Wrestling, man. You got your hands full for tomorrow night, man. If this guy shows up. It's gonna be chaos, man. It definitely is gonna be chaos.
But not only chaos, but don't forget about the rest of the show, man. You got a lot of good talent on there as well. The Kentucky's Own Wrestling.
Yeah, definitely.
Kentucky's Own Wrestling. You got Clutch. You got guys you've been having on your podcast lately too.
I know. Definitely. Right now, we are waiting for the call-in of. Rory McAlister from the Highlanders. We were patiently waiting for him to call in. And it sounds like he's calling in right now.
Wow.
Hello, is this Rory?
Yeah, this is Rory. What's going on, man?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, viewing right now on twitch.tv/Podcast Network, David C. Russell and I would like to welcome on to the podcast tonight here on ELS Uncut.
Yes.
Rory McAlister of the Highlanders. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you gentlemen doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. We're doing great. We had a couple guests on here at the beginning of the program, at the top of the program, and we basically had to cut it short because they basically wanted to go at it instead of going at it tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that sometimes happens in our business, I guess.
Yeah. It definitely does, man. It definitely does.
So how are you, Rory? Pretty good. Good to hear from you finally.
I'm doing good, man. I've got a lot of things going on in my life right now, but I can imagine to balance it all out pretty well, getting back into doing some things in the business, keeping my eye on it as usual, looking at some stories and, just kind of not trying to make a name for myself anymore, just pretty much trying to keep my toe in the water, as it were.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just appearances is always good, and being at a show, if you could wrestle, and it's great. Fans still love you,
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's funny, I was pretty much convinced that I wasn't going to go back in the ring, but I was still going to shows, and I was still kind of keep my eye on everybody and keep in touch with some of the boys and girls that I used to, work with. And I found that when I would go to locker rooms just to kind of see people, I would kind of walk into the locker room and everybody's calling me sir, and shaking my hand, and I'm like, sir, Jesus Christ, I'm not that old, and I'm watching the stuff in the ring, and I'm seeing more and more stuff that I'm like, man, I could add to this. I think it's time to reel some of the stuff in just a little bit, and some of the stuff I've learned from guys like Arn, obviously, who's been in the news recently. I've decided that I want to start passing back on to the next generation, so that's why I'm back.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm glad that you're getting back into it, and you're just want to pass on what you know and everything that you've done in the ring to the next generation. When did you start wrestling? When did you first get into wrestling?
2000.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was a long time ago. 2000, I tried a couple of other ventures to leave where I was at. I wasn't exactly happy in Scotland, so I tried a couple of different things, and none of them really panned out. And I still felt I had more to give the world than just working on boats or doing whatever. And they didn't really work out for me, so I get back home one night, and my buddy was in my apartment with my girlfriend at the time, and I said, I'm done. I was soaking wet. I've been working outside all day. And he's like, what are you going to do? And he was watching wrestling on TV. And I'd never really watched American wrestling, to be honest with you. I'd watched the British stuff, guys like Pat Roach and Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks and those guys.
Right.
But I'd never really paid attention much to the American side of it. And I said to my buddy, I was just bullshitting, excuse my language, because we're...
you can cuss.
And I says, those guys seem to be having fun, I'll go do that. And he started making fun of me pretty hardcore, and, then he told all the guys that I worked with, and they started making fun of me hardcore. My family started making fun of me quite a bit. And I thought, well, screw you guys. What can I see how this works? So I sold everything I had. 6 weeks later, bought a plane ticket to Canada, and started my journey from there. I don't like being told no. So flew over and went to the Hart School, which was run by Smith Hart and Waldo Von Erich at the time. Mm-hmm. And it was actually coincidentally the school that Ty Dillinger came out of at first. And that was it, man. I decided to sleep on the floor there and kind of try and make a go of it, But that was damn near 20 years ago.
Damn.
Oh,
wow. Now, when you got into it and you got trained and everything and stuff, where did you go wrestle at? Did you do a lot here in the States, shows and promotions in the States?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of weird, because I had a visa for nowhere. I was kind of living, minute to minute, as it were,
Mm-hmm.
So once we kind of finished up training, me and Robbie had decided that, he was set. He had a really good job in Canada.
Right.
He was working at this automotive factory. He was moving up real well, but he decided to give that up and kind of live the journeyman life, because I had nothing. I was doing odd jobs here or there. I was working on roofs. I was framing. I was doing whatever would pay me under the table. But I had no visa. I kept trying. I started on a student visa. That was expiring.
Mm-hmm.
So I pretty much didn't have a choice, man. It was either I get it and I get about and I get in as many rings as I can and learn as much as I can and try and make it, or I go back home with my tail between my legs. And that was the last thing I wanted to do, because everybody was still making fun of me. I was literally checking my emails and people were sending me some pretty heinous stuff, So we decided that this was going to be our life. So we travel all over. We'd get to Nova Scotia. We'd go Winnipeg. We'd go, Indiana. We'd go to Alabama. We'd go to West Virginia. We'd go to New York. We'd go anywhere we could just to get a payday. And I mean, it wasn't that much. So we pretty much lived in a car, you know, with a 1991 Escort. And that was our home for many years, man. We drove from town to town and wrestled pretty much anywhere we could.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's
Wow.
That's
I mean,
that's you're thinking about like people like, you know, I'm sure you've heard too, Rory, when you know, Mick Foley, when he was young, you know, slept in his car in college. You know, he did the same thing almost.
John Cena.
In his car.
John Cena did the same thing when he was out in California. He slept and lived in his car too, man. I mean,
me and Nick spoke a lot about that the first time I met him in Pennsylvania. He was just, you know, it's the accent gets everybody, you know, so they want to know your story. And that was the first time I spoke to Mick. And it was him and Tracy's mothers. We just kind of sat down and started kind of throwing stories back and forward. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, nobody does that anymore. You know, that's something that nobody really gives up. I mean, I gave up my country, I gave up my family, I gave up my life to come over and do it. And there was no failure for me. I mean, it wasn't an option. You know, I had nothing. I sold everything I had back home at that point.
Right.
My mother and father had retired and moved over to Greece, so I didn't even have a country to go back to. So failure wasn't an option for me. But we were talking about it with Mick, and you know, he said that's a life that nobody had really gave up for anymore. And that kind of made me feel good, because there was times I felt like I was done. I just couldn't do it. I was cold. I was too cold. I was too hot. I was too broke. I was too hungry. I was too dirty. I was too whatever else. But you know, talking to guys like Mick and Tracy and, you know, all these older guys that had kind of done that life, it made me feel that there was hope. You know, they always told me, you know, Shane Helms told me one time, he's like, mate, I know it's bad. I know you feel beat up. I know you feel broke down. He's like, but everybody's got a job. You just can't quit. You got to show you've got it in you. If you quit, you're done. He's like, if you keep going, you'll find a spot. And they were all, every single one of them was right. You know, you got to persevere when you're in that situation. And I look back at it now, and it was the best time of my life. It was the greatest time of my career, because I was bound by nothing. I had, you know, no responsibilities or anything else. My entire focus in my life was wrestling at the time. So it was just one of those things where it was just a single track vision that kind of panned out in the end. It took a lot to get there, but I listen to these people nowadays, and they tell you how crap the country is, and they talk about MAGA, and they talk about the Dems and the Republicans and this guy and that guy and the police and everything else, and how crap the country's became. And I couldn't disagree more, because all these small towns I went to and all the cities I went to and everywhere else, there was always somebody that met me for the first time that would let us sleep on their floor, would give us an extra $5 out of their payday for gas, they would buy us a meal. You know, the wrestling business at that point, I don't know what it's like quite as much these days, but at that point, the brotherhood was still 100% there. They would take care of you, and they did. So I think this is still the greatest stuff for the planet.
Yeah, Rory, I've actually had wrestlers come stay at my house because, you know, like, they were poor, and, you know, they couldn't make it from IWA Mid-South. You know, my friends needed a place to stay, so I put them up for a couple days, and it was, you know, you got to reach out and help, you know, people, and it's what we do, you know, as a, you know.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. I just about a month and a half ago, I had somebody reach out to me, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here, and their sister was she was Down syndrome, and her parents had died, and she was raising her, and she just asked me, would you be willing to come to the birthday party? It was her 50th party,
right?
And I was like, man, I don't normally do stuff for that, you know, but I was listening to her story, and I went, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I jumped online onto this Facebook gimmick, you know, and I put in everybody that I knew, and I sent a message, you know, to like guys like Afa and Ty Dellinger and, you know, Rycon Stevens, a whole bunch of dudes, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to this party, can you help me out? And they flooded me with stuff, sent me all this stuff to take up to a birthday party, you know. So I thought that was great. I went up there and I had action figures and 8x10s, videos and collectibles and everything to give this girl. It was amazing. You know, so once you strike up a relationship, and the wrestling business is there for life.
Yeah.
You know, if you're,
It is. Once you strike up a good relationship and a friendship, it definitely is for life. It definitely is, and that's awesome that you did that. You did that, and you had everyone help out, and that's I love hearing stuff like that. I love hearing stories about that because it's really good, and it just shows the support that you have and the good friendships that you have.
Yeah, I've done that too. Rory, I've done that also. We've done I've gone to a lot of benefit shows to help actually wrestlers, for their funds. Yeah. They cracked ribs and, just like surgeries. We've helped people. And you know what? Put a smile on face, makes their day go by,
It does.
Yeah, no, the wrestling community is always going to give back. I mean, we know, the absolute core of our job is the fans themselves. And, I've always found that whenever somebody reaches out, the wrestling community is always willing to give back. And it's funny, there was a guy called Cody Hawk. I don't know if you're aware of Cody. He was
yes.
He was Dean Ambrose trainer and Moxley's trainer, and he was fighting in Hamilton, Ohio here because it was trying to get wrestling back in the town, and they banned it because they thought it was a dirty business and it was going to destroy the town and everything else. And this was just very recent, this was last month. And, Cody kind of stood up to that. And when he stood up to it, the rest of it, he was flooded by wrestlers from hours around, they all came up and they went to the council meetings and everything. They stood there and they actually won. They had their first couple of shows here last month and blew the house out. I mean, it was standing room only. They had to turn about 300 people away. Yes. They just had their last show here. They do them every Friday. There's one going on tonight, and they're still turning people away. So a town that was, supposed to be wrestler-free, kind of like Footloose, I guess it was seen as being the devil. Everybody came around. All these wrestlers came from far and wide just to help Cody out and stand up to what they thought was something unfair, and ultimately won. So wrestling business is a hell of a thing, man. It really is. It's not just a bunch of guys putting on spandex and jumping about ropes. It's definitely, there's still a lot of that brotherhood thing there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, and it's awesome that you could stick together and come together and help each other out for anything that you have going on, and I love that. I love that, and I know which one you were talking about there with Future Great Wrestling. Good friend of mine, absolutely. Robin Nilsson, who does Wrestle Podcast. He was there for it. He made some noise for it and stuff, and I'm glad that they had their event there, Future Great Wrestling, and Heather Owens, Hardcore Heather Owens, wrestled.
A great friend of mine.
Yes.
Oh, she's a great sweetheart.
She's great. She's really I had her on this past Sunday on my other podcast I do, where I do one-on-one interviews, the Everett Lee Show. I had her on talking about the beginning of her wrestling to her retirement, which was just great, and then everything in between from her podcast, which just joined this week, the Podcast City Network that we're on, and it's just
the Best Friend Show, I believe.
Yes, yeah. They had a show on tonight. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the rest of it. I was watching it earlier this evening while I was getting everything ready for tonight and stuff. And she's awesome. Just talking with her and everything she's been through in her 13-year career in wrestling has just been great.
Yeah, her and her husband, Ed Gonzalez, are two of the best people you will literally ever meet in the wrestling business. Every time I have if it's 4th of July, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, I always have them and a bunch of other people over to my house. Oh, and they're a trip, man. We've got many stories from sitting and sharing some alcohol with those guys. They're awesome.
That is awesome. One thing I want to ask you is, when in 2005, when you and Robbie, you signed a developmental deal with World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, and you were in Ohio Valley Wrestling. How was it going into the developmental territory and then coming up for your first TV appearance on Monday Night Raw? How was that?
Oh, man. So, how'd I go over? So here's the thing with OVW.
Uh-huh.
So number one, we were never supposed to be there.
Right.
We were never supposed to be hired at all. Vince told us to our face he would never hire us.
Uh-huh.
We'd been doing spots pretty much every other month with WWE for about 4 years at that point, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good source of food for me. I ate well. But Vince told us never going to hire you. He says, I'll give you one last shot. You know, we were just showing up, we were clean shaven, had a kilt on, just nothing spectacular.
Uh-huh.
And Vince said, listen, I can put anybody from OVW in a kilt, tell the crowd they're Scottish and get it over. He's like, I don't really need you. He's like, I'll give you one last chance.
Right.
And he's like, come back in 3 months, we'll see what's going on. So we left, and Robbie's like, what are we going to do? And I said, fuck, well, I can't grow hair. I'm like, let's just grow these huge beards. At that point, nobody had big beards. Now everybody does. So I'm like, grow these big-ass beards, we'll wear fur, we'll do all that stuff. I says, but we walk into the building looking like that. And he's like, we'll march us out, man. We'll get kicked out immediately. And I'm like, we got to try something.
Yeah.
So we show up 3 months later. We walk in there, we're wearing fur boots and wrapped in fur and the big old beards and everything else. He loved it. And we were working Cap and Miz. And we go in there and just literally, we didn't even call it a match. Robbie's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, let's just beat the shit out of him. See what happens. So then, stiffest match ever. Boom, we get signed. So we're told we're going to go straight up to the roster.
Uh-huh.
Because at that point, they wanted us as the sheep herders. Kind of
Right.
gimmick, you know what I mean? With these vicious, wild men.
Mm-hmm.
We go to OVW, and I loved OVW. I loved Danny Davis. I loved Julia. I loved everybody I was there with. But we kind of went in there and tried to have a match. Our first match in, and it was not successful. It was actually really shit. And from then on, Heyman just didn't take it seriously at all.
Right.
So he kind of treated us like shit, to be honest with you. Had us on the night we'd do TV, he'd send us into Walmart and full gimmick handing out 8x10, not 8x10s, but like tickets and stuff like that, and flyers for the show. And that's all he did with us. Rarely ever put us on the show. Didn't know how to use a gimmick, didn't want to use a gimmick, was not interested at all. At that point, Punk was there and Albright, and he was happy using them. So we did they had us in like maybe a couple of mic spots. We did one with Punk, and it went over real well. Crowd was into it. Everyone was raving about it. They were talking about OVW for 3 weeks. And I guess Ed Koski seen it. And he's like, well, fuck. We got these guys, let's kind of bring them in and see what they can do. So the brought us in doing matches, and we're working, Cade Murdoch for the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came time to put us on TV, they decided instead of going with the sheep herders version, they went with the bushwhackers version.
Right.
And I wasn't exactly popping about that, I told Vince when I thought it was shit, I didn't like it, but he's like, I really want it, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to argue, man. Like, I've been eating corned beef for the past 4 years. I'll go with it,
Uh-huh.
So we did the best we could with it, and we were excited to get on there. But ultimately, at that point, man, as much as I was missing everybody, back in OVW, I was just happy to be away from it, because
Right.
there wasn't really any respect from Paul there at all.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, and Rory, if I may interrupt you here and say, you actually, at OVW, you actually had a match with Mike Mizzen and Christian Cage. How was that?
It was good, man. Christian Cage is awesome. Love that guy. But at that time, I kind of felt bad for him, because he was like square peg in a round hole, and he wasn't really being well received. I never did anything personally against the guy,
Yeah.
But at that point he did, and on the main roster he did change. I'll tell you right now, everything he says is an absolute shit. I thought he was kind of arrogant. I thought he was kind of a dick. So it was hard to kind of call stuff with him. Christian Cage was fantastic. He's just a good dude, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
The match itself was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything I would say is something that I would earmark if it was in a book, or save it if it was on YouTube. But it was a good match. But there's so much talent in there, and Miz was always a talent. He always showed that,
Right.
I think Chris the same kind of way, and his talents were beyond reproach. He had so much going for him, and he was another one that I think they kind of threw it away, But yeah, I like working with him.
Yeah. I I remember back when the Highlanders appeared on Monday Night Raw, and I remember the vignettes with the Highlanders coming on and stuff, and my father, God rest his soul, we'd watch Monday Night Raw together, and he loved you. He loved you and Robbie. He did. He loved the Highlanders. He thought it was great, and just the feuds and the bouts that you had with, I remember, like with the Spirit Squad. You had the little feuds there. You had, of course, like with Lance Cage, Trevor Murdoch. You had feuds there, yep. And of course, you actually captured the WWE Tag Team Championship titles.
And then,
and Go
also
ahead, David.
Everett. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say Rory also. When you were on Monday, when you did a Raw and you faced Charlie Haas, that's like mm-hmm. on, in the Heat days, when Sunday Night Heat was just getting into the action. I mean,
mm-hmm.
Getting into the
those were good times, man. Working with somebody like Charlie was like a night off, man. I mean, Charlie, although a weird fucking guy,
he's a great guy. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Me, Charlie was hot or cold. We either got on or we hated each other. The same thing with me and Lance. Mm-hmm. We either loved each other, or we hated each other. It was depending what the night was. But there's no denying their talent. Back then, the talent was so deep. I mean, that talent bench was so deep. When you look at guys like the Spirit Squad, I mean, you look at them for a bunch of crazy-ass cheerleaders. Yeah. Look at the talent that was there, man. Mike Mondo, I still think, and these are Ric Flair's words, the single best fundamental wrestler in the last 30 years, Mike Mondo.
He's still out there.
Johnny G.
He's still out there doing wrestling. I said Mondo, one of them is still out there. They're still out there performing, and that's great. They're still out on the indie circuit. That's great.
Yeah.
And they're still putting on great things. I mean, him and Ken are still kind of working together, but I know Jeter's actually getting back into it too. He's I was talking to him just the other day. Mm-hmm. He started doing shows. He's killing it in the gym. He's doing fantastic. I mean, those guys, you put them together. I mean, look at Nick. His whole Dolph Ziggler gimmick, the most underappreciated wrestler in the last decade. The talent that those guys had was just mind-blowing. But my favorite match of all time was with those guys.
Yeah.
And just amazing people, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler, man. I mean, a lot of people don't remember he was in the Spirit Squad, and he came out, and I mean, look what he did, man. I mean, he puts on good matches with some great talent in the ring, and that's awesome. That is.
And his promos.
He's a very selfless wrestler too. For as much talent as he's got, that boy will get anybody over. Yeah. And that's a skill. That's an art form. And I think that today is what's kind of lacking. Everybody wants to get over by putting their shit in. They don't put faith in the heel they're working with to get them over, and kind of call it as they go and do that kind of stuff. And Nick is great at that. He's willing to take anything. I mean, you could call something Nick and he'd be like, all right. If it makes sense, he's down for it. And it's not about him getting his shit in. He works for the match. And that's kind of the whole psychology thing that's missing right now. It's like everybody's just, let's do 20 super kicks. Let's do kip-ups from fucking, DDTs. Let's do all this stuff. And if you watch Nick, he doesn't work that way. He'll sell your stuff appropriately. He'll put your stuff over. He'll make it mean something. And all those guys were that. Mondo was the same way. Jeter was the same way. There's so many people back then that came out of that OVW camp that were unique. And I think that's something that has to be pointed out. They were unique. They had their own way of doing things. They had their own gimmick. They had their own style. You were allowed at that point, because Danny kind of begged for it, to be individual. I think a lot of things today, it's same body type, same moveset, same skill set,
Mm-hmm.
Back then, it was a little bit different.
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. And one guy and one individual I thought was really great because he came up with a gimmick that actually worked, and a lot of people was into it. Was you had a match, you had singles match with Snitsky.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Gene Snitsky, the one and only. That guy made heat no, he was like a character that really stood out from the crowd. Like, everybody loved him. Like his monstrous, his size. Like, Rory, how tall are you?
He is an absolute monster. I'm 5'11" and a half, and I'm 245. This guy was like, what, Gene, 6'6", 310, just an absolute monster. And the thing is, and that's the other thing, I think that's why they kind of got away from some of that. That's why I'm such a big fan of the big guys these days, like Braun Strowman, is because I think if you're coming to the ring, and they see you guys are sitting in the crowd, if somebody's coming to the ring, they're 180 pounds, they're toned, they're in shape, they're 180 pounds, kind of good-looking dude. They've got a belt wrapped around them that makes them look like they're wearing their dad's jacket. And your head are going to be like, well, I can kick his arse, I think that kind of takes a little bit away from it. Somebody like Gene and, let's say, Braun these days, that right there, you look at me like that guy's a killer. And Snitsky was a killer, and he could legitimately rip your arms off and beat you with them.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing about Snitsky is it wasn't his fault. I love that.
Never. Let me tell you, he used that at the bars too.
Oh, did he? No way.
He loved the gimmick, man. He was great. He was awesome.
Did he?
Going out for a night drinking with Gene was always an adventure.
Can you share a story where he did use that?
Most of the stories I'll kind of keep close to my chest, man. Robbie used to party a lot more than I did, but nothing, untoward, I guess. But
right.
Yeah, a lot of those ones I keep close to my chest.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Rory. I mean, like the past summer, I was up in Pennsylvania one year, and I went to the military store where he works at. How like random is that? There's Gene Snitsky, working behind the counter. I'm like, hey, I know you. I've seen you around at a lot of local shows in Jersey and all over the place. I was like, yeah, man, I'm everywhere. It's crazy. People like that are great to say hello to, hello and how you doing,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if you look at Gene now, this is probably the best shape Gene. Where's Gene right now? But 46, 47 years old. Best shape he's ever been in. He looks like a Greek statue, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. He's definitely. He was something when I seen him back in the day, and actually when I seen him on TV and on social media, looking at Twitter and Facebook, he's looking pretty good. At first, I was like, "Who the heck is that?" I had taken a double take on it, and it was him, Gene Snitsky. Yeah. I was like, wow. I was like, this guy.
It's crazy.
I'd just like to point out, he's another one that grew a hell of a beard, I says, when we got there, everybody had a little chin strap and a little tight goatee. Me and Robbie show up. Nobody on TV's really got it. Some of the old schoolers had it, but nobody had the big old beards, and I think me and Robbie reignited that whole beard fascination. And Gene ran with it. Have you seen his beard recently? Jeez, he looks like Gandalf. He looks like jacked up Gandalf, for Christ's sake.
Jacked up Gandalf. I love it. I definitely love it.
And I think Gene was actually selling beard supplies. So actually, I saw on his Twitter he was selling that supplements and stuff that for beard growth.
Oh yeah, no, he's got his finger in everything, man. He's. I know it was supplementation. He was branded with some supplements, like you said. Mm-hmm. He's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. He's keeping himself busy, man.
Yeah,
he is.
That's the way to be, man. To keep yourself busy and getting in and doing things, and it's just
there's life after wrestling, man. Trust me, there is life after wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there definitely is, because a lot of people that I used to follow and used to watch on TV back I'd see on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, that they're doing a lot of things, and they're maybe still into it, doing something behind the scenes, but they're also still doing something with themselves, which is great, which is really great. Now, after you left WWE, where did you and Robbie go to after you left WWE?
So we kind of lived on. We went back to what we were doing before. kind of lived on the road. We were doing shows all over, and money was good, man. Post-TV money is good, especially on the indies, The one thing you realize after a little bit of time is that's finite. That's definitely got a shelf life on it. So then you got to start thinking about what's going to happen. So, I've got a degree in kinesiology. I gained that while I was on the road, actually. Robbie has just always been. Robbie is able to sell himself like nobody else. So Robbie is now selling like massive mining equipment, like $3, $4, $5, $10, $20 million pieces of equipment. He travels all over the world doing that, in between wrestling, and he is highly successful. When I first left, I went into the health industry, and for a major chain, I was running a whole bunch of health clubs all over the kind of Midwest, using my degree, kind of helping out with that. And then I got into aviation. So now I'm part of a management team that's running the Amazon project. So we have aircraft coming in from all over the country. It's our responsibility to control the ground and the operation itself, keep everybody safe, make sure the ground crews are in line, the flights are in line, everything else. And if you've had anything from Amazon in the East Coast, it's came off of my aircraft. So
cool.
That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm ground operations.
Nice.
And I love my job. Yeah, I love my job. It's I only work 4 days a week. It's a very high-stress job.
Right.
There's a lot on the line. We're responsible for billions and billions of dollars every day as far as the aircraft goes, equipment, trying to keep people alive, essentially, because people die doing that job, and it's our job to keep them safe.
Yes.
So it's a very trying job. It's very rewarding. I mean, financially as well as professionally. So I'm having a great time right now.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're having a really great time at it, man. That's awesome.
Rory, I just wanted to ask you one question. I forgot to ask you before. We're talking about wrestling. Like when you appeared on Raw and you faced Generation X. Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and then also are you proud of what they're going to be? They're going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's great for them.
Yeah, they got inducted to the Hall of Fame for 2019.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the only one thing that's sad about that is the fact that Joni's not alive to be there. If you ever met Joni, she was an absolute sweetheart, and that's the only thing there that I kind of see as being a little bit of a negative on it. But I mean, if anybody deserves it, for goodness sake, I mean, if you look at what they did, let's be honest, them, The Rock, and Stone Cold, Mick Foley, they won the Monday Night Wars.
Yes.
Everybody was tuning in to see exactly what they would do. The invasion angle, I thought, was freaking hilarious. Those guys have done so much, and a testament to that is the fact that I still got royalties checked, because those DX DVDs that we were in sell so much. So I mean, people still want to see it. They're just as over as they ever were,
Right.
And all of them great.
There's a lot of good names this year too going in. Gene Okerlund, come on, and wasn't he inducted? And a whole bunch of other talent people as well.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's quite a bit that's getting inducted, and I'm glad to see DEX and see China get inducted into the Hall of Fame finally, and I'm interested to see who else gets inducted in there. Could you see one day? What's that, David?
I was going to say there's one guy that I told you about. That actually, Rory, this is really going to be special. I'm going to actually, before the Hall of Fame, I'm actually going to be talking to Bam Bam Bigelow's son before he inducts his father.
Yeah, I was a huge Bam Bam fan. That guy was awesome. He's one of those big men that could move, boy. That guy could go.
I know.
Yeah, he definitely could, man. He definitely could. I love the stuff he did when he was in ECW. It was great, man. Just falling through the ring, and just the matches he had in ECW was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, going back to what were you saying about the Hall of Fame there? You were talking about inductions.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. I'm happy to see that China's getting getting added to the Hall of Fame finally, and DX is getting added. And I don't know, David, there's something else too that there's so many. There was a rumor going around that the Hart Foundation getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, which I would love to see that. I'd love to see Mouth of South Jimmy Hart get another Hall of Fame ring. He actually, I live here in Daytona Beach, Rory, and his place, he has his tiki bar and deck is just like 10 minutes from my place.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been there. That's pretty neat. Jimmy's a great dude, man.
Yes.
I've worked with him so many times since leaving the company. He's an awesome human being. Just a good guy. And I'll tell you, for somebody who's done as much as he's done, that dude will still set up the ring. You know, for anybody out there that's got aspirations to be a wrestler, somebody like Jimmy is somebody you should 100% look up to, because that guy he could sit in his ass and do nothing all day. Show up, make spot and leave, but he doesn't. That guy's putting mats down, he's putting the canvas on, he's in there the whole time. He loves the wrestling business.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, Jimmy is really one of those guys that has really been busy, and he's also works with another promoter that we know, actually, and a musician of music television. Everett. Yeah,
it's Hurricane JJ McGuire that runs Kentucky's Own Wrestling. He's pretty awesome, and I had the privilege of talking with him on the phone, and he actually came down here last month for the Podcast City Network's 1-year anniversary show, and he came down and he actually performed songs from the Hulk Hogan Wrestling Boot Band album, which was great. People loved it.
That's fantastic. That's something I want to hear.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome. I'm trying to get one of my friends that is on the network who recorded the whole thing. I've been trying to get him to send me the footage, and he hasn't got around to it yet. But yeah, JJ's even asked for it himself. He's like, I like to have that footage. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. He was 3 sheets in the wind when he was recording it. So, I mean, not JJ, but my friend that was videotaping it. He definitely was. I have a viewer right here on screen that's saying that he read that Taz was going to be going in too, which I'd love to see the Taz mission.
Oh yes, Taz. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's another guy, not tall in stature, but man, did he go. You know, he was terrifying. I mean, and the thing was, even backstage, people were terrified of that guy, you know.
Right.
Nice dude, don't get me wrong, but Taz is one of those guys that you just don't mess with.
Yeah. Taz. Taz is just what he did in ECW, especially with the feuds and stuff he had with like Sabu, and just great stuff. Just great stuff. Like,
and a great commentator too. Like, he's great on the mic.
Yeah, he is. I enjoyed loading up his podcast and listening to that and the stuff that he talks about, and he's cut and dry, and he tells it like it is. If he likes it, he likes it. If he don't, he don't. And I love what he discusses and the topics he talks about.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously still has a hell of a passion for the business, you know.
Yeah.
So I love listening to people with that.
Yeah, I definitely do. Do you have anything else you want to add, David?
Yeah, I was going to say, Rory, I actually, back in when Sunday night he was popular, I actually went to that restaurant in New York City, and Taz and Michael Cole were doing the commentary. It was great. It was, to see people and, how the crowd was back then. I didn't know about worldwide TV back then, being a fan, kid, and just, amazing just to say hello, to those guys. Behind a camera, we're live at a restaurant, having a hamburger.
Yeah, back then it's great. I enjoyed Rory. I enjoyed the stuff that I seen, and the matches, the vignettes, and everything from the Highlanders. It was just fantastic. It was just really fantastic. Now, should viewers and listeners would like to know, And what do you have coming up? Is there anything upcoming that you have going on? Any appearances or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have one tomorrow night. I'm going to be wrestling for Battle of the Border. It's in up there in Harrison, Ohio, right in the border of Indiana. They've actually got a really good thing going. They've got some good talent in there. A lot of new guys, a lot of older guys, like, Cody Hawk will be there, Sean Casey will be there. My tag team partner of the last show was Leo Kruger, who is, most people would know him as Adam Rose. Now, if you've ever seen him wrestle as Leo Kruger, the guy is mean to the bone.
I heard.
Great technical wrestler. I mean, he really is. I can't say enough about Ray. He is an amazing guy. So we've kind of put this staple together that we're going to run with. It's me, Leo, Ed Gonzalez, strangely enough, and we're kind of calling ourselves IHOP. So it's International House of Pain.
IHOP. I love that.
Yeah.
IHOP.
This was something that Dan Blevins was toying with and decided to bring us in to put that over. And basically, it's just, we see the wrestling these days. We see what's going on. A lot of this stuff's going where I think it's a little bit too much Cirque du Soleil. A little bit too much dancing around. I just want to go in there and throw something, man. So we're putting it all with the same mindset that we're just going to go in there and punch somebody in the mouth and see what happens. I don't want to know what their moveset is. I don't want to know anything else. I just want to go in there and fight somebody. So I think that's what it's going to be, man. If they want to knuckle down and go at it, then that's what we're looking forward to doing. So look at that one coming up tomorrow. I got a couple more shows coming. I'm still involved with War Wrestling up in Lima. They're consistently selling it. I just had Dean Jablonski, inducted him into the Hall of Fame. So Big Tom up there is still doing amazing things. They're still selling it, 700-800 people a show. That was pretty much my home base before going to WWE, my home base after. So still working with them. So yeah, I've got some more stuff coming up. Pretty much it's one of those things where I'm taking it as I go. If somebody wants to bring me in, let's talk. I'll pretty much go anywhere and work. My job allows me to do that, but I'm just ready to go in there and maybe go old school on some of these newer guys because I don't want to know about your Hurricane Rana. I don't want to know about your Destroyer. I don't want to know about any of that. I want to see how you're going to shoot on me, and that's my whole plan with every match I go into there.
Rory, maybe you could take on Brian Pillman Jr. because he'll be at that card tomorrow night as well.
Absolutely, man, and big fan of his daddy. I thought Senior was one of my favorite guys. One of the reasons I moved to Cincinnati, actually, is apart from working with the guys from HWA. But yeah, I'd love to go with Brian. He's became quite the thing, man. To where he started when I first met him. Yeah. This kid with the kind of Justin Bieber hairdo to what he's became. He's got the mullet. He's got his size going for him. His skill set's phenomenal. He was over in Japan. Yeah, I'd love to throw down with him. Anything that kind of gets me in the ring working with people that want to work is great. Like I said, I'm too damn old to be hitting the top rope, but I can still hit you in the jaw, and that's pretty much what I want to see.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I actually, I'm a sponsor with Denim, actually, so it's really a pleasure to work with. I actually just had Brian on a couple days ago. It was great to hear his voice and talk a little bit, about his, old times and new times at what he's been doing. Like MLW really hot, is really hot, and we're proud of him for being a part of that,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that kid's something special, and I think he's going to be something special, and he's doing it the right way. He's not trying to network his way in. He's working his ass off. And anything that boy gets, that boy's going to deserve, and it's going to be because of him, not because of his name, not because of anything else. Because people were telling him to drop his name. Don't use that name, don't do this. But he's like, screw it, I've got a legacy behind me.
Yes.
But he's doing it the right way. And I completely, same thing with Alpha Jr., Manu. Same thing with him. He's got a legacy behind him, but that boy just works. He's just a hardcore wrestling fanatic, He's a fan of the business. He's a student of the business, and guys like that, I've got nothing but love for, you know, and I want to hear that bell ring right before we go at it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, Rory, before we wrap up, what are your thoughts on the All Elite Wrestling?
You know, I love Cody. He's a great guy, and right now there's nothing he can't touch that turns to gold. Him and those other guys, I mean, they're doing great. I can't say I'm a fan of what the Young Bucks do as far as wrestling goes. I know a lot of people love it. For me, it's a little bit against Cirque du Soleil-ish. But man, if ever a bunch of people knew that this was a business, they know it's a business. And they treat it like a business. They got themselves over. You know, anything they touch to get over. I think it's going to be something pretty awesome. You know, I know they've got like good financial backer. They've got everybody on the old interwebs interested in them. There's a lot of workers who want to go there. They've got Chris there, who I think pound for pound and wrestling career alone is probably one of the top 3 to 5 best that ever lived. They've got everything that they need. And for me, I'm just happy that the boys and girls have got somewhere to work now. You know, the more places for them to work and make money, the better. And I think Vince has got a little bit complacent in the last few years. Yeah. You know, he's seen that TNA didn't really bring in the numbers they thought it was going to. They had a 1.1 cable share, and that's pretty much what they had for the longest time, their 1.1 cable share, so he didn't feel threatened. I think these guys can threaten him. You know, I think with the departure of Ty today, I think you might see Ty go there because him and Cody were real tight. He actually helped train Cody, and actually helped train Ty, so it's kind of tight. But they got a lot of people and a lot of talent that could do something for them and with them, and I think time will tell. But at the same time, it's going to be nice, man. I'm really excited for those guys starting up.
I am too. I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see who else comes over that they sign on the roster, because it's going to be great. It's going to be great. They're going to have they already got a great roster right now, and the roster's going to grow with such great talent, and it's just going to get better. And then eventually we'll find out when during the week, what day they'll be on TV, and just the pay-per-view coming up on May 25th, and then a show in Jacksonville, and just so many great things coming from it, and it's just going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, the two things they got going for them is, number one, you know, if you've seen the numbers that TNA did with those guys there, the numbers, Ring of Honor did with them there to the numbers after, they're clearly a draw. They're putting asses in seats. No two ways about it. And the other thing they've got going for them, and this is something I have never seen in our business in at least the last 20, 30 years, the amount of people that are wanting their release from WWE.
Yes.
You know, these guys have shown them that there is a life away from the company.
Yes.
Now, I love the company. I'll always be a company guy. I'll never say a bad word about WWE because I went from living in a car to being able to buy my house, 3 cars, 2 motorcycles. I've done very well, you know.
Right.
Surprisingly enough, people will think that, well, I was just that guy. No, I did very well. I negotiated my contract when I went to WWE. I knew it was a business, and I'd been hungry, and I wasn't going back. And Vince let me negotiate my contract, so I was making good money. These guys, though, have showed these cats that came up through FCW or that came up through, you know, the talent center, they've showed them that you can make money. You can be a star without having that WWE logo on your shirt. So this is why it's getting interesting. It's not because somebody's starting up for somewhere else to work. It's because they're showing all these boys and girls out there that are taking their bumps that you don't have to aspire to be there. You can be here. And I think that's great, man.
It is. It's really great, and I can't wait to see what they do next and who they get that's going to be joining the list of
I mean, look at Neville. Look at Neville. Like, look at that guy. Yeah. He's jacked. He's jacked.
Yeah, you know? Pac. Neville. However you want to, call him whatever but yeah, he was great. He was great, and him going there, which would be fantastic because I got to see him wrestle back when he was in NXT. Back when he was still with them in 2015 when he was the NXT champion. I didn't even know he was on the card. Yep. And he showed up, and he was in the main event with Tyler Breeze. Rory, they tore the house down. They tore the house down God, it was. And seeing him pull off his finish in person was fantastic.
All the kids, super athletes. But most of these guys and girls, they super athletes, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but again, he got over with psychology in the ring, but he knows the psychology of the business. He knows what's right for him, and he had the balls to stand up and say something about it. I know you've seen more and more people do that, and I think it's a good thing, because as soon as the Fed knows that they're not the number one desire, or that they're not the only desire, not saying number one because they are, if they're not the only desire that people have to work and make money, it's going to change the business.
Yes, totally. Where can people find you on social media at? Where can they find out and see what you're doing on social media?
I tried the old Twitter thing, but I think I'm just too fucking old for it, man. I don't do well with it, but you can find me on Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook. I think right now I'm maxed out on people, but
you are.
Just Rory McAlister.
You are.
Yeah, pretty active on there, man. I enjoy Facebook. I think it's funny. I think it's a little bit too political right now, but I enjoy it anyways. It's always up for a good debate with it. But that's the main place you can find me. I do a little bit on Instagram. I think it's Highlander_Rory. Rory McAlister on Facebook. You can find me there. So,
Nice.
Just hit me up.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I want to thank you for taking time out tonight and coming on here and chatting with me and David Russell of Deathmatch Russell Podcast, and looking forward to everything that you do, and love to get you back on sometime in the future.
Absolutely. This interview was awesome because we didn't really talk about my career a whole bunch. It was more about the business. It was enjoyable, but yeah, hit me up whenever you guys want to. Be more than willing to talk. As you can tell, I like to talk.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We love to have people come on that love to talk, and we love to listen and hear everything that they've done and in their life with wrestling and outside of wrestling, and it's awesome. It is. It definitely is.
By the way, Rory, how's Robbie doing these days? We didn't even ask about
Robbie. He's doing awesome. He's doing fantastic. He's getting back in right now too. He's hitting the gym again, getting back in shape. He's working hard. He just did BCW's anniversary show with Tommy Dreamer. We've got a whole lot of things being offered to us. It's just scheduling it together. But Robbie's doing great, man. This is a high point for his life. I said he's making bank anyways, doing what he's doing. But he's a survivor, man. He's doing great.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Tell
him we said hello, would you, please?
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely, will.
Yes, yeah. Let him know. Let him know we said hey, and we're looking forward to see what you guys do and what's to come.
Absolutely,
definitely. Thank you.
But sure, have a great time tomorrow night at Battle on the Border.
Yes,
that's going to be a great show.
That definitely is.
Everybody's solidly stacked card, head to toe. Even though we're in New Jersey, he's in Florida. We're just gonna get a lot of feedback.
Yep.
There'll be stuff up on the interwebs, man. A lot of talent there, and a lot of games get a lot of people running the show right, which is a good way to do it. It's not just hey, go in there and do your thing. He structures the show very well.
That is awesome. That is. It's gonna be awesome tomorrow night. It is. Yeah. It definitely is. Thank you, Rory. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Rory.
You guys are very welcome. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. No problem. Have a good night, and we'll keep in contact.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good night.
All right. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, David.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rory McAlister from the Highlanders. It was great having him come on and talking with us. It was great, man. This has been a great night, and it's really not over yet. We're going to take a quick intermission, and when we come back, me and David's going to discuss some things that's been going around this week online, on the internet, and some more wrestling talk and other things added to that. That's non-wrestling related talk, so this is ELS Uncut.
Support and sponsor, Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, Sports Bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Atlantic Sounds has thousands of new and used vinyl records and CDs. If they don't have it, they can order it for you. Same location since 1982. For more updates on what's new, check out Atlantic Sounds on Facebook.com/Atlantic Sounds Vinyl. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demo Blast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network, we have a lot of great shows on all of our great social media outlets. PodcastCity.net.
Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
Only on Podcast City Network.
Stay connected with ELS, the Everett Show podcast on the following platforms. Facebook.com/The Everett Lee. Click the like button, click the follow button for the latest notifications. Twitter @The Everett _Lee for the latest tweets, the latest podcast links on Twitter. Stay connected with these platforms of the Everett Lee Show podcast.
Do it! Just do it! No, what are you waiting for? Do it!
Want more ELS? The Everett Lee Show podcast is available at the following. Download the audio version of this podcast and previous podcast at everettleeshow.libsyn.com, Stitcher.com, Everett Lee Show. Leave us a rating and a comment in the comments section. iTunes. Subscribe to ELS, the Everett Lee Show on iTunes. Give us a rating and a comment. For the video version of this podcast and previous podcasts, visit youtube.com Everett Lee Show. For interview segments, visit dailymotion.com/Everett Lee Show.
Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
ELS, the Everett Lee Show, is your shot of entertainment to the head.
You're listening to ELS Uncut.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the remainder of the podcast.
Everett lead out. My God, it's how many people tonight?
We've had quite a bit of people on here tonight. We had a lot of people on here tonight, man.
Tonight's a great night.
I know, it's great. I feel like going. I definitely do.
Speaking of that, woo. You know
what?
Speaking
what do you
of
have?
Woo, somebody has a birthday. Mr. Ric Flair, the Nature Boy.
That's right. He is. Hopefully his birthday is not.
Fickle.
As I always say to that pickle.
Well,
pickle,
to the pickle?
pickle.
This is what you say to the pickle, I hear. That's what you usually say.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh man, I missed that noise. You haven't done that noise. You haven't done these sounds in a couple of weeks or months. We have so busy with so many podcasts now. It's so we're just like time for let's do a podcast.
I know.
It's Weaver too.
Got a question. I have a question. Up on the live stream right now. I want to thank everyone viewing in tonight on this ELS Uncut Friday night podcast. We have a question from Dirty Deeds 817. What do you think about WWE releasing Arn Anderson? I am shocked to find out that he got released. I can't believe that because he's such a great talent. Everything Double A the Enforcer's done in the ring and behind the scenes. It just shocks me that they released him today.
I can't believe that. Arn Anderson, the man, the master, one of the four horsemen.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's done a lot for the business. He has, and he still can. And it's a shame, but you know what? He'll move on. There's plenty of opportunities out there on the market that he will venture to and go and seek and could be breaking.
Well, there's some more announcements. I mean, like Rory said when he was on, they just released Ty Dillinger. That's messed up.
Shocked.
Hideo Itami got released, and JTP just got released. Three talents. Of course, we all know where they're going to be going. They're going to be going to AEW, and of course, right here on the chat, right there, Devin052317 says, "Just tuning in now. Hope you didn't miss much." Well, you missed a lot's already happened. You can always come back and view this podcast right here on twitch.tv/podcasting network. And be sure to check it out over when available. It'll be posted up on social media when it'll be on the Podcasting Network YouTube channel. The ELS Uncut episode 20 will be up on there by tomorrow evening. So you can check that out on YouTube tomorrow evening, this podcast, or you can come back here before it's taken down within the next week, this podcast right here, and check it out of who we have had on tonight and what we discussed and talked about.
Let me ask Devin. Have you just joined us, and what are your thoughts on the Arn Anderson release?
You know what? Actually, let's do this. Do this. I want to hear what the viewers have to say. So, right now, this right here, if that's going to be up on the screen right here, as soon as I can find it, I got so much shit on my fucking computer, it's ridiculous. Right there, call in at the show right there, 386-206-1595. Let's get your thoughts on the latest releases from WWE, Ty Dillinger, Hideo Itami, and JGP. TJP, whatever the hell he goes by, what initials.
And also, how about thoughts on the Hall of Fame this year, too?
The Hall of Fame. Yeah, let's get your comments on that. When a call comes in, we'll go right to you. We'll get you on. We want to hear your thoughts on the topics right there. And, of course, yeah, the Hall of Fame. There's so many announcements, so much rumors going around. Who's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year and who's not. This person's going to be in it or that person's going to be in it, and it's just a lot of speculation, a lot of stuff that's going on. And one thing I can be for sure about is that if I'd like to see the Hart Foundation get into it, because if you really look at the Hart Foundation, David, getting into the Hall of Fame, you got Jimmy Hart, you have Bret Hart, Anvil Neidhart, Brian Pillman Sr., you can't forget about him, Davey Boy Smith right there. That right there, the Hart Foundation. And
my God, you know what? That's like a legacy, as they always been called, the legacy Hearts, in the business, like just the foundation. Look where they started,
Yeah.
Alberta, Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Right in the father's dungeon, the dungeon. I wish I was around to tour that. That would have been cool.
It would. It definitely would. Yeah, I'd love to come to KCW show, Devin. I definitely would.
Yeah, we're going to be coming there pretty soon. We'll be up there probably this summertime.
2019, sometime in 2019. Sometime in 2019, we'll be up there. We definitely will, because Podcast City Network is in partnership with KCW. So all the talent that you see on the weekends for KZW, you'll be able to check them out here on the podcast, on the variety of shows here on podcastcity.net. You'll be able to catch out talent of KZW on such as the Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, and of course Wrestle Popcast.
All right, you know what? Going back to the foundation. Let's hear your best Bret Hart impersonation. Let's just have fun. I want to do a little.
You want to hear my best Bret Hart impersonation? I am Bret Hart. That's who I am. I am Bret Hart. I'm from Alberta, Canada. I will put you in the sharpshooter. That's the best I can do.
Well, let me try. Let me try. Right? Well,
Yeah.
you know, I'm from Canada, and you know, the sharpshooter is applied really well. My father's Stu Hart, and I'm gonna just cripple you to death, and we're just gonna get it on.
My name's Bret Hart. I can't do one.
How about Mean Gene Oakland? All right, little Mean Gene, baby. That's it.
One thing I want to ask you about.
Oh, wait a minute.
Do your Savage. I want to hear Savage.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Everett Lee. If these podcast fans are listening right now, yeah, dig it. Because the Macho Madness is still alive, yeah.
Oh, nice. Let's give you a round of applause for that.
Wait.
But I'll tell you what, son. Stone Cold Steve Austin can open up a can of whoop ass and drop a leg on you. What? I say what? Oh, you want to hear John Laurinaitis? Here we go. Let me get my throat. Here we go. Big Johnny Laurinaitis, people power.
Johnny? Want to hear some Johnny?
Of course, I'm John Laurinaitis. I give people power back to the people.
I'm just gonna say.
You mean John Laurinaitis?
I can climb the cage at a Raw or beat up on John Cena.
We're Mike the Dudes, man. Yeah, it's totally awesome. We got in the ring today, man, and we got up against some opponents. Yeah.
How about,
yeah,
would you like
doing
to
some
hear a little-
impersonations.
All right. Oh,
Now,
Hart,
one.
Oh, here you go. This is right up your alley, baby. This is up your alley. Jimmy Hart, go for it.
Hey, baby. Mouth and Chef Jimmy Hart coming at you.
Let's see if I can. Let
Jimmy
me
Hart,
top that. Let me
come check out Jimmy Hart, baby, over at the Daytona Beach Bar and Grill, over off the Oceanside, next to the ocean deck, baby. It's going to be madness, baby.
I'm gonna bring you the best, and everybody in the world. Yeah, baby. I can't do him.
You sound like Mickey Mouse.
I can do mix.
Damn!
Do you guys,
Gentlemen, let's
you guys
broaden
wanna
our
hear some,
minds.
All right, let's broaden our minds here for a minute because I want to get your thoughts on this. You hear about what was happening with Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth to play Hulk Hogan in a biopic, which will be directed by Old School and The Hangover director Todd Phillips. Chris Hemsworth, I guess it was reported by the Hollywood Reporter that Chris Hemsworth is set to portray Hulk Hogan in a biopic that reunites Todd Phillips with Scott Silver, the director and writer for an upcoming DC movie such as the Joker. The deal is for Hogan, the Hogan Project are in the midst of closing with Netflix, producing will be Michael Sugar, the Academy Award winner behind Spotlight, who will produce it. Produced his Netflix Sugar 23, and Phillips and Bradley Cooper, who will produce via their banner joint effort. Also producing will be Hemsworth and Eric Bischoff.
Wow.
What are your thoughts about that? What is everyone's thoughts about Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan?
Brother. Well, let me tell you something, brother. I've been banging at the gym lately. You know these kids. They better just watch this movie.
Time to get off the phone, David. Your credit card bill is way too high. We're going to cancel it.
She do it. I don't know. She's losing her mind. But anyway, that movie's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Surprise.
So. Anyhow, I guess.
You go ahead.
I guess you got to.
Hold on. What? No, I'm fine.
Everything okay on your end?
Don't be rude.
You
keep on going.
Are you in trouble?
I'm good.
David is in trouble.
No, we're not. It's just this doesn't. Anyway, Hogan's movie. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm definitely looking forward to see that. But I'll tell you one thing I am looking definitely forward to seeing is that Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel comes out next month. I'm looking forward to see that movie.
That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be great because the reviews right now that are in is just fantastic for Captain Marvel, and it's definitely gonna be great to see Captain Marvel next month, and of course Avengers coming out in April. The Avengers Endgame. There's so many speculations, so many rumors going on with that, which will be fantastic because a lot of people are speculating on how the heroes are going to get. And the ones that was disappeared by the snap of Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, how they're going to come back because they've already shown the trailer for the Spider-Man Far From Home, and people's already like, well, Spider-Man's alive, and the one question is, which Avengers will die, not make it all the way to the end on Endgame? There's speculations. There's speculations that Tony Stark may be meeting his end. Of course, Captain America, Chris Evans, because Chris Evans was only signed on, I believe, for 3 Avengers movies and not a 4th one. But pretty much, I think that with that, and of course, I mean, there's so many other people that can also bite the dust too. But if Tony will probably end up, I'd say he may bite the dust. If not, it's gonna be Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers will probably end up getting killed and going with the comics, where Bucky will take the helm of the new Captain America, because there's so much they could do with this. If they kill off any original ones, if you gotta look, you got Captain Marvel that's coming out. They could eventually pull off 2 more movies with that. Black Panther, they could definitely pull off 2 more movies with that. Ant-Man, they could actually pull off another 3rd one with that. And Spider-Man, they got so many. And plus, they'll be introducing more up through 2020 and 2021, all the way up through, I believe 2023. And of course, if they finally actually get a director to do a 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy, which would be great. And of course, we could see more of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we could see a new team of the Avengers, because of so many people.
What do you think of the new Chucky movie that just came out?
The trailer, I'm gonna pass on it, man. But we have some thoughts right here in the chat about that. Devin, stoked for the Avengers. Dirty Deed says Thor Hogan will die. Devin thinks that Tony Stark will sacrifice himself and save everyone. That's a good point. That could happen. Tony Stark could save himself or sacrifice himself just to save everyone. But if you go on Reddit, I've been going on Reddit, watching YouTube videos. A lot of people have been coming out with some really good theories and thoughts about who and what will happen in Avengers Endgame. Some of it I believe, some of it I think is just not that great because there's speculations and rumors. So, which I do believe, you know. Yeah, I definitely do. But I mean, there's the Chucky movie there. I'm not really in tune with that because for the fact that Chucky it's just I'm tired of the reboots. I'm tired of Hollywood rebooting all this movies. They're taking so much time in rebooting movies, and all the time it takes them to reboot a movie. They can actually put that into something better, something original, some original content, some original shows or movies that I would rather see. I'd rather spend my money going to the theater and seeing that than reboots of stuff because I just not really been a fan of the reboots here lately. Some of them's been okay, but some of them I just didn't care for. I did not care for. Of course, Dirty Deed says no Brad Dourif in the. I mean that right there. That he's the voice of Chucky. If you're gonna do a Chucky movie, you got to have him as the voice of Chucky because he's it. He's it. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. I didn't even give three shits in the wind about that because it just. I mean, they had a good actor to play. Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger. I mean, not.
What are you doing? Stretching our stuff? I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you mean stretching our stuff? I'm having a discussion, man. This is what this is about. It's a discussion. We're having fan interaction too. I mean,
that's good.
You don't.
Good. This is what you want.
Yeah, you don't touch on.
What about? What music? What about music's going on right now in the world of music?
We just lost a musician. We lost one of the monkeys. The new Halloween. I did not see the new Halloween. David did. What are your thoughts, real quick, on the new Halloween movie?
I kind of was like, eh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the original's a lot better than the newer. As I always say.
The original. Yeah, the original is definitely the best. Yeah, it's the originals are definitely better.
But yeah, we heard. But anyway, we had man. What? Peter
now,
from the Monkeys,
Devin has a couple questions here. He said, Repic. I look for next month in March. Don't be surprised if announcement for the Everett Lee show you will see Repic on. And another question: how do I feel about the Venom movie? I loved it. I definitely loved it because I got that for Christmas. My wife got it for me on Blu-ray. And she surprised me with that because I didn't know that she was going to get me a movie for Christmas. She got me Venom. We watched it. The beginning of it was kind of slow, but as soon as the interaction with Eddie Brock and the symbiote, that was great. I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie, really fun movie. I could go back and watch it again. Am I going to have Repic? Yeah, right now, I am in the process.
Some lists.
I'm in the process. Yeah, there's a lot of people on tonight. I'm in the process of getting more KZW superstars on the Everett Lee show to do one-on-one interviews. And of course, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast and Wrestle Popcast will be getting talent on from KZW. You'll be hearing a lot of talent here in the next few months from KZW coming on the podcast from Everett Lee, on the Everett Lee show, Deathmatch Wrestle and Wrestle Popcast, all on podcasts brought to you by Podcasting Network. You thought Tom Hardy kicked some ass in the role, Devin? He did. Tom Hardy. One thing I love about Tom Hardy is he puts 100% into what he does. There's a movie that was on Netflix years ago that I suggest you check it out if you can find it online. A movie he did that was based on a true story about one of the longest living convicts in jail. It was called Bronson. If you have not seen Bronson, I recommend you check that movie out because fucking Tom Hardy was off the balls, man, in that movie. And I loved him as Bane. He did great as Bane. He definitely did. But talking about talking about who we lost in music, Peter Tork of the Monkees, he died today at age 77. And
Man.
Yeah, he died.
Everett, I got to actually see him perform at a local show in New Jersey at a carnival show, and man, that guy's voice, he was something. He brought it to the table. He was part of the Monkees that always the TV show and just with the music, Davy Jones and Mickey Dolenz, and the whole the whole band. It was just
it was great
the way that I'm going to be sad that he's gone. Rest in peace. But
I am too. When I was a kid on Nickelodeon back in the day, they would used to play besides having Kick-Ass.
Nick at Night.
Yeah, Nick at Night. They would play the Monkees. I would watch the Monkees, and I loved that because the Monkees, in a way, was basically like almost a comparison
Rock.
to the funny slapstick side of the Beatles. That's basically what it was. But they actually had some pretty good hits, like Last Train to Clarksville, I'm a Believer, Daydream Believer. Those were three of their biggest hits right there. That definitely were. They definitely were. And it's a shame that he passed away. He definitely passed.
Like they got the chance, but I don't know if it was him or Davy Jones was on the Brady Bunch, series that grew up, too. That's part of his, he was proud that Davy did that, and, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like for today we've also had some birthdays today, too.
Somebody had a birthday last week.
Someone had a birthday last week.
Deathmatch Russell.
Yes, you did. That's right. We have some birthdays. Actually, today we actually have some birthdays. Kylie McGlynn, Drew Barrymore had birthdays today. Yeah. Actor Kyle McLannon turned 60 today. Comedian Rachel Dratt turned 53. Actress Jerry Ryan, she turned 51, and god dang, she don't look fucking 51. Thomas Jane, he turned 50. Actor Thomas Jane.
Oh, hold on.
Singer and actress Leah Salonga turned 48.
Everett.
Yes.
If you, Devin has a question right here.
Question is another wrestler-related thing I wanted to bring. Legend Larry D has announced an upcoming title match with Johnny Impact, probably biggest match of his career ever. Even proud of. Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah, Larry D is returning to KCW on March 2nd after a 7-year hiatus.
The legendary Larry D, man. He's had his he's known in the Kentucky area. He's known in the IWA Mid-South area.
Yeah.
And in the Ohio area. NWF wrestling as well. And there's a couple other PTW, and he's good to see that you guys are going to have Larry D in the house. I wish I could say hi to him, but one of these days I'll run into him.
Yeah.
He's
James Blunt
wrestler.
Turned 45 today. Drew Barrymore, 44. Wow. And, of course, actor Paul Dooley turned 91. James Hong, 90. John Ashton, 71. Julia Waters, 69. And there's a lot of birthdays. Also, I think one of the musicians from Aerosmith. I think it was Brad. What's his name? Yeah, he ended up turning, I believe, 57. But there's so many musicians and actors and actresses that had birthday today, which was freaking great.
Happy birthday to all
happy
you guys.
Birthday. Definitely happy birthday. Now, one thing I want to mention now is here in the next couple months, you're going to be seeing a lot of talent, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, from KCW, Kentucky Zone Wrestling. Also, the Everett Lee Show will be also going back to having indie actors and actresses and indie film directors and producers like I've had on in the past before on the Everett Lee Show. You're going to see more of that here in the next couple months as well, because a lot of my people I know in the indie movie industry are gearing up and getting ready for Sundance film festivals and little film festivals and stuff. And if you like indie movies, you like to step away from big box office movies and attractions and stuff, be sure to check out the interviews I have with the hard-working, passionate people that presents indie films and does that, because you can always go back on Podcast City Network on YouTube and you can check out the archive episodes of the Everett Lee Show with interviews such as that. And it's going to be great. What do you have coming up on Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast? Before we wrap this up, I want to ask you, what's David C. Russell have?
Well, actually, this weekend, if you stay tuned this Sunday night, I'm going to have a female indie pro wrestler. She's all over the East Coast and travels. And she's been to a lot of After Dark pro wrestling events and elsewhere. You're going to be seeing the beautiful Christine Marie will be on my podcast. And we're going to talk to her about her upcoming match. She'll be back at Pro Wrestling After Dark in May at the Atlantic City where I just was. So it's going to be great to see her there. And also, you know, I just got reached contacted somebody this afternoon and made a contact with somebody. And you remember Kachar Pro?
Chikara Pro, yeah. We had a couple of talents on before.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be bringing on one of their talents, and he's gonna be coming on. The Green Ant is gonna be joining me on the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast. We're gonna see what's going on with him, as he's a part of this year's Lions Cup, and there's a big lineup this year. There's a female. There's a lot of good talent all together in there. So check that out.
Nice. That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to what you have.
What else did I do, or where have I been? Game Changer Wrestling, man. Last week I was just, like I said, Atlantic City. One top solid card. They blew the house down. Fans of you could go check it out on YouTube. Not on YouTube, excuse me. Smart Mark Video, digital download, or you could go on fighttv.net and check it out. Game Changer in Atlantic City, New Jersey. They presented they said it couldn't be done, and we brought to the States a wrestler from Japan.
Nice.
Deathmatch legend Jun Kasai. And you know, the card was just made an impact. Everybody liked what happened. A lot of blood, a lot of guts, and just good old time wrestling. You know, there's some superstars there too as well, like Teddy Hart and among other wrestlers in the building. And it was just a great, solid stack card. And where will I be coming up? Pretty soon. What wrestling cards do I got coming up, Everett? You even know. CZW, I think, or CZW show, Trifecta. I think H2O, Hardcore Kingdom, one of the biggest shows of the year. You know?
Yeah.
So there's lots coming my way. But I want to say thank you for everybody listening tonight. And where can they follow the Deathmatch Wrestle as always? On my social media, Facebook, DeathmatchWrestlePodcast.com. Check me out. My website, DeathmatchWrestlePodcast.com. And on Facebook, on Twitter. And fans, just remember, you know what? What kind of apparel do I always wear?
Collar and elbow. Tell me about collar and elbow.
Oh, collar and elbow. Well, you can save 10% on a purchase by using promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast by clicking on the link to collar and elbow. And make your purchases today.
That's right. That's right. You buy collar and elbow shirt, be sure to save 10% by using that promo code right there, Deathmatch Russell, and you will save 10% on collar and elbow.
Also, you know what? For fans listening, I do have merchandise as well on the Deathmatch Russell podcast as well.
Website.
You can buy yourself. Yes, go on the website. You could click on and get yourself a Deathmatch Russell podcast T-shirt, lapel pin, and bumper sticker.
Nice.
As well.
Nice, definitely. Dirty D say KCW is going to be good as always tomorrow. Can't wait to see what Jeremy Rage does when he shows up. Exactly. Now, Sunday night at 9 p.m., on the Everett Lee show, will have none other than new Ohio wrestling owner Donnie Hoover. He will be on the podcast. Okay, he will be on the podcast Sunday night, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check out the Sunday night episode of the Everett Lee Show at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, with new Ohio wrestling owner Donnie Hoover. He'll be on the podcast, so be sure to check it out, the live stream right here on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network, and you can follow Podcast City Network over on Facebook, Podcast City Network, and on Twitter at Podcast City Net. So be sure to check that out Sunday night for a special edition of the Everett Lee Show.
I'm sorry, but do you also have my media so you can send to this Devin so we can go reach the Deathmatch Russell or put a log, throw it up there too, or is it already probably up there?
Yeah, Deathmatch on Facebook, Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Twitter at DJ Dave32, right there on the screen. And I want to thank everyone that viewed in tonight. I want to thank our guest. I want to thank the Chris Rose for coming on and the surprise call from Jeremy Rage. And we want to thank Rory McAlister of the Highlanders for calling in tonight. And I believe that's it. That's it for the Everett Lee Show. Or not Everett Lee Show. ELS Uncut. So we are out of here. Everett Lee signing off. Have a good night and good weekend, everyone. And be sure to check out the Everett Lee Show and Deathmatch Russell Podcast in the coming weeks. And, of course, shout out to all our shows on Podcast City Network. And let me stop the music for this real quick. I want to welcome and thank our new show to the Podcast City Network. Heather Owens, Hardcore Heather Owens and Jade, Best Friend Show Podcast to Podcast City Network. Shout out to you guys. And,
wait a minute. You know what? Shout out to KTZW.
That's right. Like you heard on the promos tonight there, man. KZW. All the way, baby. Everett Lee signing off. David C. Russell signing off. Everyone have a good night, and we'll catch you again next week for another episode of ELS Uncut. Peace.